Right, hello everyone. We are live, but I didn't tell anyone I was streaming, so don't expect anyone to be here. A link will be sent out by the guys, which is probably how you're watching it now. Anyway, just going to go through the data with you for game week 10. I've done game week data for 11 and 12, which I will pass on to Darren when the time is right. So, a interesting week, really. So, again, looking through this, you've got Arsenal pretty strong against Tottenham, so a 2.2 to a 0.75. Blackburn look like they've got the better of Birmingham, a 1.75 to a 1.15. Man United pretty strong against Bolton, but Bolton getting 1.15 as well, so they're not too bad and can score. Fulham West Brom is quite tight, low scoring. Fulham just edging it. Leeds are fairly comfortable against Everton. Everton with the lowest XG this week, followed closely by Charlton, who again seem to lose to Liverpool, but Liverpool's goals aren't quite as strong as Leeds. Man City Middlesbrough seems pretty close. Southampton Villa seems pretty close. Southampton aren't a bad shout for this week, which we'll go into. Sunderland, pretty good numbers, but Chelsea not a bad team as we know. And West Ham, Newcastle, again, Newcastle edging that there. So, in terms of if you're focusing for clean sheets, you're probably looking at Leeds, Arsenal, and Liverpool players as your main kind of choices of what you want in. West Brom, Man United, Blackburn, Fulham, and Aston Villa are your alternatives, I would say, for your goalkeepers and defenders. Your 3+ Kings, again, who's going to possibly go big this week? So, Arsenal leading the way. Followed by Man United, Leeds, Newcastle, and then, as I mentioned, Southampton. So Southampton aren't a bad shout this week. Low ceilings, I'd probably avoid the likes of Chelsea, Charlton, Everton, West Brom, Man City, and West Ham this week. They didn't score 3+ in any of their 20 sims. Want to talk about man of the matches as well. You can see fairly even in some of the games. Arsenal definitely stronger. Blackburn pretty strong. Man United good. Leeds great. Liverpool, fantastic, and Newcastle as well. So I do think that's an important way of how you can pick up your bonus players. If you're looking at the 10 to 9 ratings, Henri, Van Nistelrooy, very strong, quite way ahead of everyone else in terms of getting those points. Half-time clean sheets I've been considering recently as well. So you can see by some of those numbers there. Leeds, I believe, with the top one of 33 out of the 40 halves. So really good chance of a clean sheet. Liverpool just behind them and Arsenal trailing them as well. I've listed the red cards in this table as well. Manchester United got 6 red cards. Bolton got 2. So I do. That's kind of my tip that I think Man United will get a red card this week. Blackburn pretty dirty as well. Lots of data, so I will move on with stuff that we need to do this week. So here are your weekly stats. So your home scorers. So you might look at this from your attacking options part of it. Thierry Henry coming out on top, but he is a troll. Flo not far behind him. So even though Sunderland don't have the greatest fixture, Flo or Phillips are showing their good viable options. Harry Kewell has been strong again. So again in the top 3. And kind of your punts this week, I would say Stern, John, and Anelka have both scored really well at 7, especially if you're looking to have Arsenal and Sunderland players further back. That's or Leeds. That's a good way of looking at away. Away scorers, Bellamy sadly not playing, but Court is a good player. So Bellamy getting 11 and Shearer getting 8 shows that the Newcastle strikers can do really well there. Van Nistelrooy is obviously always going to have good data. Dwight York and Damien Duff is one that we haven't seen. I think because Birmingham play the wing backs and he'll be playing left midfield for Blackburn. I think Damien Duff is again a really good option for everyone this week. Jimmy Floyd's a good player. Angel is due, which we'll look at, and Hughes. Assists, Chill dominant in there as well, so he could be the automatic Leeds pick with Viduka being out of the game. Maybe you're going to try for Bridges or something instead. Patrick Vieira is a beast. He's not delivered as well as I'd like him to do so far, but he's done really well. So lots of home players there. Craig Hignett. So it shows you how well Blackburn can possibly do at Birmingham. They've got a really good chance. And then your likes of your normal Giggs, Beckham, and Kieran Dyer, who again, I'd be tempted to go Shearer, but I'm leaning more towards Dyer at the moment. Man of the matches again: Henri, Van Nistelrooy, Viduka, Dyer, Kuhl, Sunji High. So I'll talk to Darren about that one at some point. Is in there as well. Right. So here is a league table. See if I can move my head out the way a minute. No, we didn't want to do that. No one wants to see me like that. Anyway, I'll tell you what I say. So this is the average league tables. I've tried to line it up against the table you can see there. So looking at the current league table, I would say the overperformers, you're looking at Man City, again, are fifth from bottom on average down there. And Bolton are more mid-table, but they're getting the kind of the lower mid-table and they're finishing higher mid-table at the moment. So I would say those teams are slightly overperforming. You can clearly see West Brom and Blackburn are underperforming. So again, yes, they do have bad seasons. You can see here that Blackburn finished 14th. So I would expect them to get out of that comfortably and finish much higher. And the lowest West Brom finished is 13th as well. So I don't imagine they'll be down there for too long. So maybe that's one you're going to target, that this game and this data is going to almost push Blackburn and forgot what I'm talking about. Blackburn and West Brom to score. This is why you need someone else to do this with you. Could be better. Spurs and Newcastle. I think they're slightly disappointing at the moment. They're underperforming where they are in the league. So my expectations moving forward. So Bolton could keep it up. They did finish fourth once in one of my sims, but we'll see with them. Man City unlikely to sustain where they are. I think West Brom should come good, and Blackburn definitely will improve. So one thing to consider there, because I know Craig's got a big one for players that are due. Speaking of that, here we go. This is the one we want. So looking at, again, so back here is the average of all the players. So you can see the top, I think it's like 23 players on that screen, over 14 sims, how many goals have scored. So for example, you can see there Van Nistelrooy averaging almost 23 a season. I've looked at our current table. So you can see there at the moment that you've got Kevin Phillips, top scorer in the league with 8 goals, Michael Owen with 7, Bergkamp, and so on with 6th. So what I've done is I've looked at the top 23 players on the left-hand side and kind of noticed who's underperforming. So Viduka is due, but he's not playing. So he's struggling a little bit. Andy Cole is not scoring his expected 13.86 goals a season at the moment, so I'd expect him to score. I think Dwight York is slightly behind where he needs to be. Diego Forlan is definitely behind. Veron is behind. Rebov has only scored 1 goal this season. Marley is going to come good. Marley hasn't scored this season, and again, he averages 10.29 a season. Again, you can see some of those seasons there where he's gone on and scored as high as 17 Premier League goals. He is a player that is going to come good. Angel hasn't scored. Villa are really poor at the moment, but he will score goals. And Boxic, I think, will come good as well. I think when Middlesbrough have got a strong home fixture moving forward, he's going to be an option. So they're ones I'm looking at. Again, I'm tempted to throw in an Angel, throw in a Marley, throw in a Rebrov. These players that I think are due the goals, because the data shows you it's going to happen. They always reach these numbers. It's very rare that they have a season where they don't. Also looked at this in terms of assists. So again, on the right-hand side, you can see the assists this season. So there's a few from Vieira to Piper with 5 assists. And then we've got 4 going from Tomaszek down to Carrick. And then it's Pires onwards from there. Again, looking at the average, you can see Beckham was clearly the highest assister in my 14 sims, 208 in total, averaging almost 15 sims a season. Looking from this of who normally assists and who isn't in it. So Michael Gray is normally the 3rd best, but he doesn't seem to be playing. I think the signing of Thatcher has cost him, and he's it would normally be him or Arca playing left back, left mid. Thatcher's doesn't really play in my sims, so I'd expect him that once this new signing buzz kind of rep settles down, I'd expect Gray to be back in and amongst it. Veron has only got one assist. Again, shame he's not playing. I think Scholes will do very well in that position this week. The only problem with picking Scholes is Veron's on the bench. Otherwise, I think Scholes would be nailed on. I think that AMC, that attacking arrow from midfield is perfect against Bolton. Kumas hasn't got assists. Rayner hasn't got assists. Bowyer, 2 is okay. The Postman's only got 1, but he does have 4 goals. Dyer's only got 2, but he's got 3 goals, and Svensson only has 1. So all those players on your screen, I expect to be getting assists over the coming weeks. Okay, the data proves it. Look, they're there in the numbers. None of them are on schedule to hit their target, so I expect it to creep up. So think about getting some of these players in your team. These are the top scores in the game at the moment. So you can see Rio Ferdinand top scorer was 61 points. Doesn't matter as much because we're not playing a season-long game where you'd want Rio Ferdinand in your team. Again, if this was the leveler side every week, I may think differently. I'd definitely probably be having Bartes, Ferdinand, and a Van Nistelrooy possibly. There are only 2 forwards in the top 23 players on the screen. There are 7 keepers, 6 defenders, and 8 midfielders. So think about that in your selections. I know, especially in the first couple of weeks, we're always drawn to those strikers. And again, they can get there, they can get hauls, but consistently getting high points. Midfielders slightly tipping it, but goalkeepers and defenders with those clean sheets seem to be the way forward, and that's how I'm focusing my teams on as well. Right, into the sim data from this week. So Arsenal v Tottenham. So you can see, Omri high in goals, Vieira high in assists. Nothing much from Tottenham. Dominating of the man of the matches, 10s and 9 ratings. Arsenal have hit 3+ 9 times, Tottenham only twice. Again, the blanks, Arsenal blanked 3 times, Tottenham blanked 12. 13 wins and 5 draws to the Arsenal, 2 for Tottenham. So expectations are an Arsenal win. It can obviously go the other way. Might be able to see some of the scores in that. When did Tottenham win? Yeah, Tottenham won a game 2-0. So hopefully it's not one of those type of games and you sting people. My head's in the way of the tips, but it says, can you trust the troll? Is Jeffers worth the punt? And Spurs are underperforming. Are they due a rare away win here? So again, because they're underperforming in the league, is it the time that the sim's going to throw out one of them random 2-0 wins from? For me, I go, you get an Arsenal player in, and I think you can go from any of the positions. I think goalkeepers, defenders are strong. Sol Campbell, I think big game mentality is a big one for this. Vieira, Sol Campbell, Thierry Henry, and Freddie Ljungberg to an extent. Those are all players with the big game stat. And again, in the North London derby, they will be there. I would not be surprised to see a Sol Campbell haul in this game, to be honest. Birmingham versus Blackburn. So Blackburn win it more times than often. 10 wins, 5 draws, 5 wins for Birmingham. Birmingham can score here, 7 goals. And York getting 7 back as well. Duff in there as well. Man of the matches, Blackburn expecting to get it more, but it's there. There wasn't many free pluses though. So for me, my thinking would be that you're actually probably thinking more. I don't know what to think from this game. Possibly a Blackburn defence. Birmingham did blank 6 times, but it's not a great percentage. The half-time clean sheets were only 23 out of 40. Blackburn did get 5 red cards. So yeah, split between the Birmingham wins and the Blackburn wins and the Birmingham draw. Not a large of 3 pluses. And then my head is basically showing, is the type of game where it's a Robbie Savage haul. So for example, if Birmingham come out comfortably, and especially if they're able to keep a clean sheet in one half or both, even a 1-0 win to Birmingham with a Savage assist would see you get a lot of points. I think Robbie Savage is going to be a player that can get some big points for Birmingham in the rare games that they win. Bolton v Man U. So Bolton can score here. Again, look in the sims. There's 6 blanks, which isn't too bad. I mean, I know they're at home, but it's not too bad. Man United only blanked once. Bolton 1-2 and drawn 6. So when you look at that as a percentage, again, they're not too bad of getting that result off United. I don't think it's a guaranteed win for Man U here. I'm leaning more towards midfielders and attackers for United than clean sheets in this game. I think Bolton will score. I don't think he'll do particularly well, but it might be an RVM week. I'd suggest Scholes or Giggs or Beckham, to be honest, but I'm leaning towards RVM for me. 6 Man United red cards, that could spoil the game. United did not win in 8 of the 20 games. RVN or the midfield this week for me, and Scholes great, but Veron on the bench. Okay, tips for the Fulham West Brom game. So I've said defence for either side could be the winner. Lots of blanks. Harley and Clement would be the ones that stick out for me, and my head is blocking out not much going forward in most games. Goal scorers are low, 5 each. Assists are low, 7 to 6 blanks. Hard to call on the 9-5-6 win draw losses. It's a tough one. I think maybe defence for either team could be the option basically in this game. Leeds versus Everton. So again, Leeds really strong here. Everton not getting much. Everton blanking 13 times out the 20. So possibly Nigel Martin, a Woodgate who appeared on Man of the Matches and 10 to 9s lots of times could be a shout. But again, they've got the highest XG. You probably want their attacking players. Bridge is a rare start. Can you go for that? Viduka would have been the highest owned player in the game this week. I'm sure of it. Kewell has got going, and his date is great. So I think lots of people are going to be on Harry Kewell, and I'd advise that. And my head is blocking out Heartbreak ? Yes, I'm considering Ian Hart, but have we been burned? Can we trust him? You know what? He's bigged up more than what I thought. I looked at his data of goals and stuff. He ain't that good. He doesn't score or get many assists a season. He has good seasons every once in a while, but he's not consistently better. Gardner and people are stronger for me. Liverpool be Charlton. Liverpool, the Boris team in the game, will probably edge out a 1-0, 2-0, something like that. So the Liverpool defender keeper is the safe option, but Owen is great in this patch. I fancy El Hadji Diouf to do well over the next couple of game weeks. He's got some really cool fixtures, and my head is picking out. It says, "Don't pick Kylie, you bellends." You might be able to see the bellends bit at the bottom. It didn't work against Man United last week. Don't do it. Liverpool are going to win the game. I expect them to get a clean sheet. Do you be brave and go for Owen or Diouf, or do you pick Dudek and Hippier and be boring? Up to you. Man City Middlesbrough, weird game. So I've said unpredictable but low scoring. If I had to, probably pick Benabia or Boxic. And then it says Jihai got 3 man of the matches. And then it says, go on, Darren. We know you love him. So Sun Jihai could be a way forward this week. Not many blanks, 4-3. Win losses. Man City should come out on top. Anelka could be a shout. Benabia is obviously a good player. Maybe not this week for Boxic, but he's definitely in my thinking over the next couple of times. Southampton v Villa. Hopefully Southampton beat Villa 4-1, like you can see in there, one of the sims. Southampton have hit 3+ 6 times, one of the strongest ones this week. The top scorer data isn't that great. Pahars can be a really good pick. I've said my head's blocking out. So basically Bridge, Fernandez, Svensson and Pahars, any of those 4, I think they're all equally as good as each other. I think they should be in your team this week. Southampton will go under the radar, and I think before me mentioning it, no one says it, but I think they will deliver this week. They are both relegation fodder teams, though, so you do got to consider that. Sunderland Chelsea, so tricky because these are teams that you would want to pick. I think most of us have a Sunderland or Chelsea player both weeks. So do you still pick them if they're cancelling each other out? Sunderland and the draw is the most likely. Not many Chelsea wins, but they are held to the draw. There wasn't many blanks, only 1 and 3, so should be goals in the game, but not huge amounts of free pluses. Again, a 2-1, a 2-all. These are the type of scores you're expecting, so you've got to kind of pick the right attacking outlets, I would say, in this fixture. Flow of 11 goals, so not as many free pluses as you would expect, but 2 good teams cancelling each other out. And then I've just put Stanek needs a rest at the bottom, as old Rockstar would say. His fitness is low once again, so please be wary of that. West Ham Newcastle. So there is exclusive from me. I noticed it and I put it in the WhatsApp earlier that West Ham are actually starting a new right back this week. I don't think the boys running the game had actually clocked it. I've only checked him out. Young lad from Bristol City. Had 6 appearances from Bristol City. Hadn't really done much. The Toon Army are looking good for any of the 3 away positions, I would say. Easily go a defender. Can easily hold West Ham 4 blanks at home. I'm leaning more toward Dyer, but Alan Shearer is going to be highly owned, isn't it? We all know it. And yeah, that is there this week. So hopefully I've got through it. 20 minutes, not too bad. Lots of data there. You might need to flick back and have a look at it. Probably would have been better if I streamed through someone, showed them all that hard work and data of the tables. I might just have a flick back at that for a second. Yeah, so once again, before we end the video, just consider Bolton and Man City ain't going to keep it up. Blackburn and West Brom are going to improve. Goals per season, you can see obviously some people do it really well. I mean, Toure Andrew Flo, look at that. He scored 28 in one season, then 3 in the next. Majority of times he scores pretty well. He can often be the top scorer in the league. Can't believe Rude's scoring so low at the moment. But all your known ones, Shearer, Hasselbank, people don't rate Johnson, but look, he's up there. Andy Cole, not getting picked this year, not scoring this year, but he will. Wouldn't put it past him to go big this week. Sava, yeah, we've talked about him. York, Forlan is going to start doing better. Rebrov's going to start doing better. All these players are going to start appearing. Even Angel at the bottom there. He's got pretty consistent numbers, normally around 10 a season, isn't it? So yeah, we spoke about those players. Please be aware of them. And the assists are just important as well, because that is what it's all about. These are the points in our games. And if you look at that, all the players that are scoring points, are normally getting high average ratings, and they're either getting large amounts of clean sheets or large amounts of goals and assists. So think about what positions are best for you to pick. All right, anyway, thanks everyone. Have a good week. I'm off on holiday for 2. I'll be doing the stream hopefully on Thursday night. That'll be my last one before I go away on Saturday. But I've set it up so the sim data will be brought to you by the Man On Boys